What's up, guys? It's Bumpkins. Today is Wednesday, February 16th. Wednesday means new comic book day. New comic book day means new comic book call video. As always, I went down to Infinity Flux here in Chattanooga, Tennessee for another big old stack of books and a few other goodies as well. Real quick, guys, if you are looking for a comic shop, if you don't have one and need one, or if you have one but are looking for a different one, Infinity Flux will ship around to the country. So if you're in the US and you're looking for one, reach out to them. They'll be linked or tagged or however you're watching this video, there will be some way to reach out to them. Just let them know what you're looking for and they can help you out. But let's go ahead and jump right into this because there's some cool stuff this week, starting with Marvel, starting with Amazing Spider-Man number 89. So just continuing the Beyond storyline, we've got Queen Goblin. Seems like it should be the Goblin Queen, but I guess Green Goblin, Queen Goblin. Queen Goblin, we got Black Cat, Mary Jane, and I don't want to spoil anything, but needless to say, this is still a really good storyline. I'm still enjoying the entire Beyond storyline. We get, well, I won't say anything, but this is a really cool issue. I really enjoy what's happening. I think I'm going to enjoy what's to come based on how this ended. Just another solid issue of Amazing Spider-Man. Next up is Devil's Reign Superior 4 number 2. So, I don't love this. Like, of all the Devil's Reign tie-ins and even the main book, I like everything else. I don't really love this story. I feel like it's a little bit beyond silly. Like, Doc Ock is working with different versions of himself from the multiverse. You've got the Ghost Rider Ock and the Wolverine Doc Ock and the Hulk Doc Ock, and they're bouncing around to other multiverses, and he doesn't really seem to have a purpose other than he just wants to rule the multiverse, I guess. I'm not real sure what his end game is. And it's just a little bit too silly for me. I don't mean like it's a funny book where they're telling a lot of jokes. Just the concept is a little bit too far out there for me. I know that's kind of weird to say, seeing as how, I read a book about, a queen goblin fighting a guy with spider powers, but something about this book I just don't love, but I think there's only one other issue, and like I've said before, I'm a sucker for tie-ins, so I'll be finishing this one out. Fantastic Four number 40, so this is essentially the next part of the Reckoning War storyline after Reckoning War Alpha, I think from, was it last week or the week before? I don't remember. But this is really cool. Things are happening to Reed, which is really interesting. Actually, one thing that it's not a spoiler. It doesn't spoil story points at all. But one thing I'll say about this that I actually didn't love is that Reed shaved. He doesn't have his beard anymore, and as someone who can't grow a beard and desperately would love to be able to, Reed's beard is gone, and I thought bearded Reed looked really cool. So maybe he'll grow that back at some point. But things are happening to Reed, and it especially, there's a nice little cliffhanger ending that really makes me want the next issue. I can't wait to see what happens there. We've got a couple different not really teams, but the family here has split up, and they're going to tackle a couple different facets of the Reckoning War. So yeah, this is a really solid issue. I can't wait for the next one. So, Hulk number 4. So I've said it before, and I'll say it again because it's still true. I don't know if this is really the Hulk story that I want right now. But I gotta tell you, this is really just kind of interesting, though. It's not really like any other story I've read before. Definitely not like any other Hulk story I've read before. So while I don't know if I'm gonna stick around past this first story arc, I guess it depends on what the next one is. I'm assuming this is number 4. I'm assuming this story arc goes to number 6, like most comics do. But maybe I might be wrong. But the story is just so interesting with Banner supposedly like turning Hulk's body into a sort of a spaceship, even though that's not literal. Like it's all just visual representations of his psyche, right? So the Hulk's body, this big brooding Hulkish body, is Banner's psyche is using it, like piloting it as if it were a spacecraft. Basically, he's directing it what to do. He has to tap into normal Hulk's rage in order to make it stronger. He's on a different Earth now where some crazy things have happened, and then the ending was based on the ending alone. I know I'm gonna get the next issue, but yeah, this is just, like I said, I don't know if it's the Hulk story that I want. I don't need so much psychodrama, I guess, in a Hulk story. I just really want the Hulk to smash things. But at the same time, it's just super interesting and kind of compelling, and I definitely want to read more. So one that I was really looking forward to, and I thought it was pretty good, Iron Fist #1. So in Iron Fist, was it Heart of the Dragon, the mini-series that just wrapped up not too long ago, Danny Rand gave up his Iron Fist powers, I guess, in order to save the world. And now we have a new Iron Fist. One thing they did here is they revealed who this new Iron Fist is pretty quickly. It hasn't been revealed in the solicitations. It's pretty obvious who it is, but I won't say just in case you don't know. But I thought that might be something that they carry through this whole first story arc, is the mystery of who is the new Iron Fist. No, that's not it at all. They reveal who it is. Everybody who thought they knew who it was pretty much right. But there's a little bit of a twist to it, a little bit of why he's Iron Fist, how he came to be that, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know that this is one I necessarily need every month. I'll probably get the next one just to see where the story is going, because this was just there's some good action in this, but there was a lot of setup about who the new Iron Fist is, why he's the new Iron Fist, and what his goal is, what he's trying to do right now. So it was pretty decent. I enjoyed it just fine. Not quite as much as maybe I thought I would, but it was still a good book, a good read, especially if you're into these characters. Danny Rand is in it. It looks like he's going to maybe act as a mentor, which is pretty cool, because just because Danny Rand doesn't have the power of the Iron Fist anymore doesn't mean he's not still a badass and can is a expert martial artist and can still whoop up on people and has a lot of experience, years worth of experience. So it'll be cool to see him in this, mentoring the new Iron Fist. So yeah, pretty good. I'm gonna get the next issue, and then after that, I'll try to decide if I want to keep going. So one I didn't read this week, King Conan #3. I don't know why I haven't read this yet. Because the King Conan series doesn't really, it's not like it's a sequel to anything. It's just a story about Conan later in his life when he's a king, and I don't really need to read anything before that. I don't know if I was thinking maybe I needed to read Jason Aaron's earlier run before starting this one, but I don't need to, so I need to jump on this. Still, the only Conan comics I've ever read are still the original books from the early 70s that I've been reading for my History of Marvel videos, and I'm enjoying the heck out of those, so I need to get on this one. Another one that I didn't read because I'm still behind on the series is Venom #5. I got the X-Gwen variant. I think I said this last week. I'm not trying to get all the X-Gwen covers, just some of them I like more than others, or I'm not really trying to get any for the books that I'm not buying. But this one was really cool. I still haven't jumped on this series yet. I still haven't read any of the King in Black stuff. So while I know kind of what Venom's status quo is right now, I don't really know the details around it. So I definitely want to read that. I might go rogue and just try to jump in on this series and try to piece together what's going on, and then read all the King in Black stuff later. I did pre-order the new Venomnibus that collects the entire Donny Cates run. So I might wait. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with this, but cool cover, and I'll read it at some point. And then last up for Marvel, the book that I keep saying I'm going to drop, and it keeps being pretty interesting, is X-Men #8, the nice Wolverine trading card variant cover. Yeah, like I said, every time this comes out, I'm like, I don't need this every month because I'm not completely caught up on all the other X books. I'm going to at some point. I've got the entire Dawn of X, all the collected editions digitally when they were on a super duper huge sale. I've got the Hoxpox hardcover, the X of Swords hardcover. Like, I've got so much X-Men stuff that is ready to be read. I just haven't done it yet. But this one, I just, when it started, I was like, hey, maybe I'll just jump in and just read a plain old X-Men book. It's really good. It's really fun. I still am not getting as much out of it as I probably would had I read, or if I were reading everything else. But it's still a fun story, and I feel like they do a pretty good job of keeping this book self-contained from everything else. There were some references in this. Sync and this Wolverine, I guess there was something about a vault. A lot. If you guys are watching and have read that, you're probably screaming, "Oh yeah, that's this." I've not read any of it, so I don't know what they're talking about. But still, this is a good title so far. So I'll probably just stick with it for a while, I guess, until it really goes off the deep end and I have no idea what's going on. As for DC, it was a pretty small DC week, but holy cow, the covers. So let's look at those. So the only DC book that I did read, because I'm behind on all the others, is Detective Comics 1053, the nice Lee Bermejo variant. Still continuing the Arkham Tower storyline. I've lost track of where we are. I think we're 6 or 7 issues in now, and it's still pretty good. This one actually doesn't have a lot to do, or doesn't really take place in the tower itself, but things are starting to come to light with, the heroes, Batwoman and Nightwing and Batgirl and Oracle and Huntress and all those guys. They're starting to pick up on what's going on, especially in this issue. Things start to boil over. So yeah, there's still a lot to come. Like I said, we're either halfway or a little bit more than halfway done. So there's still around half of a story to tell, but I'm still enjoying it. The backup story too is getting cooler with the kid who, I don't know who he is. I think maybe I would if I had read the earlier run of Detective, which I'm definitely going to do at some point. But yeah, this is still a really solid story, and I can't wait for more. Okay, so the rest of these I haven't read, again, because I'm behind, but we're going to look at the covers especially. So Flash 779, this nice Todd Knock variant. Todd Knock, I love his artwork. I'm a big fan of his. I haven't seen him do a lot of DC stuff, so it's pretty cool to see him. I don't know if this cover is going to lead to interiors, or if he's just doing one cover, a few covers, if he's still doing stuff for Marvel, I have no idea. But that cover is awesome. It's really nice to see Wally back, and in like the Wally specific costume with the white eyes and the piece over the nose, the less jagged Flash symbol, the different belt, all that stuff. So I can't wait to catch up on this run of Flash. Green Lantern number 11. Look at that cover. I'm not sure who the artist is, but that is insane. That looks so good. I did flip through this one just to see kind of what's going on. I'm several issues behind on Green Lantern, but I've had a hankering to catch up. So I'm going to do that pretty soon, because I need to figure out if I want to keep going with this. Because like I've said before, it's not a bad story. The issues I've read were very good. I just don't know if it's the Green Lantern story that I want right now. So, but I need to catch up, because it looks like there's some crazy stuff happening, and I definitely want to find out what that is. Justice League 72. So this is a title that I was going to drop off my pull list just because I'm super far behind on it, and I don't know if I need it right now, but when it was announced that it's ending with number 75 and the Justice League are supposedly going to die, yeah, right. I just figured I would ride out the series. There's only like 3 more issues after this, and then the Dark Crisis storyline, which I'm kind of interested in. I don't know how that whole thing's going to work. So supposedly the Justice League is going to die, and they're making this big deal about, oh, Dark Crisis, how are the heroes going to handle it when the Justice League isn't around to help? Well, you still got Hal Jordan there. You've still got Wally West. You've still got Nightwing. You've still got John Kent, who is just as powerful as Superman, maybe a little bit less experienced, but you've got Yara Flor and whoever else they pull in. I mean, they're still, like, they're gonna be fine, okay? So I don't really get why they're making such a big deal. No Justice League. Well, there's still plenty of heroes. Also, I don't know how they're gonna do it. If the Justice League is supposed to die, well, right now, Batman is, like, overseas. Superman's on War World getting his butt kicked. Wonder Woman's off doing her own. I don't know what she's doing. I'm not reading that book. But I just don't know. Like, comics don't have to be completely in lockstep with each other all the time. But this one seems really disjointed from everything else. Like, I mean, you know, like I said, Superman's on War World. We know from Future State that that's where he's gonna be in the future. I don't know if he's gonna fly back just to die with the Justice League, just to be revived later, and then go back to War World. I don't know. So I'm interested in finding out how that's all going to work, but it just seems like it's kind of a mess right now. But I'm gonna check it out anyway. So I got to get caught up on this one, and then be ready for Dark Crisis. And then last for DC, Nightwing number 89. So I'm still behind on all the Nightwing and all the what I refer to as the Tiny and era Bat books, Batman Detective, Joker, this. But I'm going to go ahead and read this because this is the first of a 2-part crossover with Superman Son of Kal-El. The next part being in Superman Son of Kal-El number 9, I think, which comes out eventually. I'm not sure when. So I want to go ahead and read this one because I am reading that book and I want to be able to read that story. So hopefully I won't be too lost. But yeah, I'm definitely going to jump in this one. And it's going to be nice because I really like Nightwing and I haven't read a lot of Nightwing in a long time. So it was another light Image and indie week in regards to single issues anyway, and that's mostly because, I've said it before, but mostly because I'm trying to switch to collected editions for a lot of the things that I read, but especially for Image and the indies, just because so many of those stories are so much better read in trade, with the exception of The Silver Coin, number 9. So this, it would be great in trade, but this is also a fantastic book that you can read single issues, because each story is its own thing with a beginning, middle, and end. The only connecting piece is the Silver Coin, but other than that, each issue is its own story. I've said it before, I really liked the first issue. I didn't like issues 2, 3, and 4, but then starting with number 5, it got really good. 5, 6, 7, 8, and now number 9 have been fantastic. This issue deals with a detective who's on the take, or a police detective on the take. I think in the 70s, I think is when this was set. Setting buildings on fire to help criminals get the insurance money, and hilarity ensues because he is in possession of the Silver Coin. So you can only imagine what might befall him when he does all this. So this is really good. I'm really enjoying this. Except for those 3 issues that I mentioned earlier, this has been a fantastic series. King Spawn, number 7. So I haven't read this one yet, obviously, because I still have my big stack of all Spawn-related books down here to catch up on. But I'm going to get that done at some point, and I'll report back. From Aftershock, we've got Maniac of New York, The Bronx is Burning, number 3. I'm really upset with myself because I haven't started this particular storyline yet. I loved the first storyline, which was 5 or 6 issues. I really wanted more from the ending, and now we're getting that, and I haven't read it yet. So I definitely have to jump on this one because the first series was great, and I expect that this one will be as well. And then from Second Sight Publishing, These Damn Kids, number 1. So I'm a super old guy, and I say this all the time. This was a really interesting story. There's something weird going on with the children in a I guess what's a small town. The children are killing their parents in pretty gruesome ways. Needless to say, if you get this book, don't let your kids look through it because it is not kid friendly. So it was a pretty interesting story, a really interesting concept. I want to know what happens next. I'll be completely honest. So this was a tough read because I try not to be a stickler for grammar and things like that, but the grammar in this was weird. There was punctuation. The punctuation was really weird, which just made it a strange read. It made it sort of feel like everybody was talking almost as if they were robots, which I'm not saying that they are, but just the way the dialogue was. The dialogue specifically, I'm talking about like the way that the word balloons and the dialogue inside those and the way everybody talked. It was really strange. The punctuation, like I said, the punctuation was weird. There were spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes, and just all through it. Made it seem like nobody proofread it. Like I said, an interesting story, and I want to see more. But all of those mistakes made it a very weird reading experience, I guess. So I'll probably check out more, but hopefully they fix that stuff in the next issue. I picked up a few books from the dollar bins as well. I was super happy to find these because I don't have a whole lot of them, and I snatch them up anytime I can find them. So I got the Alex Ross Timeless variant of Fantastic Four number 24. This is Ben Grimm. And I also got the Invisible Woman variant to Fantastic Four 24. And also the Reed Richards Timeless variant to Fantastic Four 24 as well. So these are really cool together. I don't think I have the Human Torch yet, so I need to find that one, but look at those. I mean, I know a lot of people have these Timeless variants. These variants were coming out right as I was getting back into collecting physical books at the tail end or the latter part of 2020. So I missed out on a bunch of these, but it's super cool to find them. And I also found the one with Namor. This is Fantastic Four Empire Fallout number 1. I haven't read Empire yet, so I don't know what any of that means. But having Namor as well, so Namor with 3/4 of the Fantastic Four. I do have some other ones of these, so it would be super cool if I found them all one day. And then, just because, like I said last week, I love this era of DC Comics, Armageddon Inferno, number 1 and number 2 and number 3, and it's a 4-issue miniseries, and it didn't have number 4, so that was a bummer. But I got the first 3. This is early 90s goodness, or mid-90s, June 92 is what I'm trying to say, is when this was it came out. June and, or I guess May and probably April. But yeah, you got Lobo, and you've got Guy Gardner, Starfire, Orion, Wave Rider. I just love this era of DC because at the time I was collecting comic books full throttle at the time, but I was a big time Marvel and Image guy. I saw so much of these DC stories that I just passed over. And now anytime I see one from that era, I'm inclined to grab it just because I feel like oh, I remember that story, but I passed on it when I was a kid, and I always wondered what it was, so here's my chance to catch up. So yeah, I don't know what this story is. I'm assuming it's a sequel to the Armageddon. Was it? It was Armageddon 2001, right? Was that what it was? So I guess maybe this is a follow-up to that. But yeah, I was super happy to find these and recapture some of the things I missed. But the fun doesn't stop there. I've got some collected editions as well, starting with Ordinary Gods, the first trade paperback. This is the first 6 issues. This is written by Kyle Higgins, who is killing it on Radiant Black right now. And yeah, I read the first issue when it came out as a single issue, and I really liked it. But it was a big-time setup origin story for this character, who is a god. I guess maybe all the characters in this were gods at one point. They were sentenced to some kind of imprisonment on Earth, and now they have to sort of remember that they are gods and have to fight a war, I guess? I'm not sure. If you guys have read it, you know what I'm talking about. But I could tell when I read the first issue that it was interesting, but I didn't want to sit through a brand new origin story, issue by issue, month after month. So I decided to wait for the trade, and here it is. So I definitely can't wait to jump into this one because it did seem like a cool story, but just one that was better read altogether. The next one is Mirka Andolfo's Sweet Paprika. So just like with Ordinary Gods, I read the first 2 issues, I think, of this, and I really enjoyed it. This is more of a comedy, maybe a little bit of a romance book, but I enjoyed it. But just like with Ordinary Gods, I could tell that this is better read in trade. So this is the first 6 issues, I believe. Yeah, 1 through 6. I think it's a 12-issue series, so there should be one more trade. So after the first couple, I decided I'm going to hold off on that one as well, wait for the trade, and I think this will be much more fun read altogether. And then Volume 3 of Undiscovered Country from Scott Snyder with art by Giuseppe Camuncoli, whose work on Amazing Spider-Man I loved him on Amazing Spider-Man with Dan Slott. What's weird about this is I have the first trade paperback as well, but not the second. But when I saw this come up on FOC, I thought I'd go ahead and grab it. I can fill in the hole. I can get the second one later. I did read the first couple issues. I think maybe they're on Comixology Unlimited, and they were pretty cool. But again, just like with the other 2, I knew that this would be a story better read altogether. So once I get the second trade, I can power through, what is this, like the 18, through issue 18. So once I get that second trade, I can power through the first 18 issues. And then last but not least, I picked up the 2-volume set of Mouse. So it's got 2 different volumes in here. So you guys have probably heard, my home state continues to embarrass me. McMinn County, Tennessee is only a couple counties over. It's not where I live, but it's a couple counties over. And their school system banned this book from schools, which is shocking. So I just can't believe that you wouldn't want to teach kids about the Holocaust and the horrors that went on there. It's something that everybody should know about so that we can know how not to do it again. So when that all happened, though, I realized that, I've never read this, honestly, and when that whole thing went down, I was reading a lot about it, and I realized I don't know a lot about the Holocaust. We didn't learn a lot about it when I was in school, unfortunately. I know, a little bit. I don't know the details, so I started watching some documentaries and reading some things, and it was just terrible. And then when I saw this at my shop, I wanted to go ahead and pick it up so I could read this as well, even though it is a comic, with the with Jewish people drawn as mice and the Nazis drawn as cats. It's still, a first-hand accounting. It is the author's dad's experience back then. So I just wanted to pick this up. I have started reading it. I haven't finished it yet, and I haven't even gotten to the more graphic, intense stuff, I guess, yet. The first several chapters are just learning about his dad's life leading up to the Holocaust, and that it's really nice because you get to know him, and you get to know what he experienced, what his life was like leading up to that, before what I'm assuming is a bunch of terrible experiences happened to him. So I was super happy to get this. I highly recommend anybody, read this or read something or watch some documentaries just so you can know what happened, because it's terrible. And I can't believe that people think that it didn't happen. There's firsthand accounts, there's video, there's pictures, there's all kinds of stuff. And I think we all need to know what happened, like I said, so that we know how to avoid it ever, or how to keep it from ever happening again. So that's it, guys. Another awesome haul for the week. I appreciate you watching. If you like this video or any of the other videos on my channel, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a sarcastic thumbs up. And if nothing else, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you picked up this week. Have you read Mouse, or were you able to find it? Did you get any other collected editions, dollar issues? Do you have the timeless covers, or just whatever you got? Just let me know. I love comic books. I could talk about them with a room full of people or just to a camera. Guys, don't forget, comic books are supposed to be fun. They are just another fun form of storytelling. There is plenty for everyone out there to find something that they like, and it's super easy to just simply ignore the things that you don't like and let everybody else enjoy that stuff. Also, don't forget, it doesn't matter how much you buy each week or each month. What makes a great comic book haul is that the things you get and the things you read are important to you. They resonate with you emotionally. They get you excited. They get you pumped to crack open a book and read it. That's what makes a great comic book haul. So whether it's 1 book, 10 books, or 100 books, as long as you are excited to get these things and read them, that is what makes a great haul. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.